Hi, welcome to my channel. Continuing with my MP5 clone project with my GSG-16. Last time I posted a video on how to thread the muzzle. So you could use the MP5 tri-lug flash hider. Today I'm going to show you how to modify the GSG-16 magazine to get rid of the see-through. Ever since I got the GSG-16, I can't stand the see-through magazine. So today I'm going to have it covered up by using a Airsoft MP5 magazine. Okay, and this costs $11 US. I buy all my MP5 parts from Airsoft company in Hong Kong. I buy them directly and the shipping is quite expensive, so I buy more than one magazines. Why don't we start? The first thing I do, having this magazine inserted, I draw or score, or you can use a felt pen if you want. I score a line in the back. Okay. Now I can start showing you what you need to do. The first thing you need to do is disassemble the Airsoft magazine. And it's very simple. There's a pin right up here. Okay, I already pushed it out. You just push it out one way or the other, doesn't matter. It's a cross pin. Once you do that, you can pull the innards out like this. It's the entire plastic assembly. Okay, this is for a 6mm Airsoft. Remove that, and then you end up with a steel casing. Alright, next thing you do is remove the base plate. There's a slot over here, and I already did it already, so just push this in and this base plate would pop out. It's also made out of steel. Okay, so it looks like that. Okay, it goes in like this. Okay, you don't need this, so remove this. This is all you really need. Next thing you do is disassemble the GSG magazine, and to do that, there's two screws, Phillips. Hold onto the base plate while you unscrew the two screws. And the base plate, be careful, comes out like this. Be gentle with the magazine spring. They're very fragile, they're not very good quality, so don't mangle them up. Next thing you do is, using a Allen wrench, unscrew this part right here. Then you slide out the follower. That is the follower. Now I've been looking for some ideas of how to do this, and I searched the internet, and I only found one YouTube that does the GSG-16 magazine mod. However, mine is a little bit different. I do not separate this, and I don't use sandpaper, and so mine's going to be slightly different. But if you want to check what the alternative is, Google GSG-16 magazine mod. I am back. Now you don't have to separate the two halves. Okay, just leave it on, and this separates a little bit, so don't worry about that. Okay, now take the casing all right, and lay it right on top of the GSG-16 magazine and line it up to the bottom. Okay, and make sure it's, and then you can score it if you want by using a sharp tool. Score the top of that, or you can use a felt pen, which I did. I used a felt pen, and put 2 lines, one top of the casing, okay, which is right up to here. Do it all the way around, okay, and then put another line about 1/4 to 3/8 of an inch lower and draw the line all the way across. So there's 2 lines. Basically, from the top of the line to the second line means hand file only, okay? You're gonna hand file. From here to here, you can use a Dremel if you have one, or you can hand file. It's up to you. If you don't have a Dremel, hand file. But I have a Dremel, and I have this bit, and it removes a lot of material, okay? And it removes a lot of material really fast because there's a lot of material has to be removed. And if you're gonna hand file it, it's gonna take a long time. Okay, so that's why. So remember, 2 lines, one up here, 1/3/8, 1/4 to 3/8 of an inch lower. From these 2 lines are hand file only. From here to here, you can use a Dremel. And what I need to remove is 1 millimeter in the front, 1 millimeter in the back, 1/2 millimeter on the sides. Okay, so that's what you have to do, and you have to hand fit this quite often. Okay, you have to keep trying to hand fit it. Now, addition to removing materials from the sides and the front, to overcome, this is the bottom of the casing, to overcome this indent, I have to make a small cutout right over here, otherwise it won't fit into the casing, it won't even go through. And also, basically, I have to accommodate a small cut over here for this indent, and for this large groove, I gotta cut from here to here, okay? And this does wonders, okay? It does really quick. Now, if you don't have a Dremel, you could use a round file, okay? And that's pretty simple. Now, when you're filing this, always would be nice if you had a vise, because it goes a lot faster. And if you're doing for that indent right here, just go like that and file it like this. Okay, if you want to use a knife, you can, but I would say this tool does quite fast. Now here, same thing. Now you have to accommodate this groove, you have to use a hand file like that. Like that, okay. So you see, I just got it started, but I intend to use a Dremel. Now, like I said, this Dremel tool removes a lot of material really fast, so if you don't have any experience using a Dremel, don't. Okay, otherwise you're going to take off way too much material. I'm going to plug this in right now, and I'm going to just show you how it works. Okay, now I'm just going to do this groove in the bottom, or I'm going to do a little bit on the cut. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go like that. Notice I use two hands all the time, otherwise you can. See how fast, how much material takes off? Really fast. So that's basically how it's gonna go into this groove and at the bottom for the notch. Okay, that's what you have to do. Now I'm ready to remove 1 millimeter in the front, 1 millimeter in the back, and 0.5 millimeter on the sides. Now remember to stop often and make sure that you are even, and if you can see any high spots, take it down, or you can just hand file the high spots if you like. I can see there's a little bit of high spots, but do measure just to make sure that you have taken off 1 millimeter on each side. And actually this looks pretty good. Okay, so I have do one side, the back side first, and remove 1 millimeter. Now you're about to do remove 1 millimeter on this side. Okay, but surprisingly I found that this front side is hollow, so therefore we'll have to actually that makes it easier for us, and we'll just have to use a hacksaw and cut it off. Let me get the hacksaw. Okay, using a felt pen, I marked where the hollow spots are, which is over here, and over here, over here, and over here. Remember, I drew a line here not to cross the hand file section, and also here I also drew a line right here. This is the hand cross section. This back part is solid, but the front part is hollow, which actually makes it easier for us. So here I want to show you what the hollow part looks like. So I got the hacksaw, and I can kind of gauge where the solid pieces are. So I'm just gonna, you can see a fine line, so I'm just gonna go close but not right on. Okay, so this section here, and here is solid. In between is hollow. So I'm just going to use a knife to cut out the hollow part. There it is. And there it is. See, it's actually hollow. Now I can grab this part. I'm going to use a screwdriver, and I'm going to pry that out. Like this. Oh, I don't want to do that. I think I might end up breaking it, so I'm gonna weaken the joint first. Yeah, that's better. There it is. Yes, I think it's best to weaken the joint than try to there it is. See? Well, actually, it's easier to go from the top, like that. And this one, I don't know how far I'm supposed to go, so I'm just gonna guess it's gonna be about this far. Okay, stick your screwdriver on top and pop it open. Okay, so that's it. So this side is going to be a lot easier. Now you have to still remove 1 millimeter on these section. Okay, except here. This is a hand file. Ignore that. But this, and this, you have to remove 1 millimeter. And actually, it's probably best you hand file because it's too small of a section to use a Dremel. So it's best to hand file. But as you can see, this part is a lot easier. Yeah, I can even file this down with a hand file. So I'll be back. Okay, I finished hand filing these raised area, 4 of them. Do not touch this one yet. Okay. Now, when you're using a Dremel on the back side, don't forget to switch them around so you don't put pressure on just one side, and so you would have more even, and check just from the sides that you are taking off the exact amount, and do measure regularly, and which I have. I use a caliper, and this is pretty good. So now I'm going to do these area back here with the Dremel. Okay, so I think that's deep enough. And I'm going to do that little notch. Okay, now let me do the other side. Yeah, I didn't go quite deep enough last time. Alright, now to do, now for the sides, I gotta remove 1/2 millimeter, okay, the sides, 1/2 millimeter. Now again, I'm gonna use the Dremel. Now, just do one side, okay, and make sure you're just removing 1/2 millimeter, and constantly measure, and also turn the magazine around. Okay, so here it goes. Remember, there is a line here which I do not pass. Here, I'll actually use a hacksaw, and this is the line right here. I do not pass. Okay, so I did that. That's the second line, and the top is first line, and I do not touch this section right here. So yeah, so that's good. So let me do one side first. Remember, 1/2 millimeter. Turn around. Okay, so the next thing I do is switch the head. Okay, I have to get a I'm going to put a metal cutter and because I need to remove this metal part. Okay, I need to cut from here all the way down and across from here. I don't want this. I want this part, okay? And I don't want this part. I think I can do it by hand. And the metal is very thin, so it's not a problem. Okay, so that's where I cut it. I need to remove this piece. Okay, now I'm going to use a hand file to smoothen the edge. I'm done with the snug fit, and here I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, just push it in. Now I'm still about 1/2 inch from the top, and this is the original top line. Okay, from here up to that top line I'm going to do it by hand, but because I want to be careful to not pass, I don't want the bottom of the GSG-16 magazine to surpass the casing. Okay, so that's important that I don't do that. So from here up to that line, I'm going to do it by hand filing. And I'll file the back of the magazine, the right side of the magazine, the front of the magazine, and on the left side, I can do the front, but not the back. Do not touch the back. Do the front, but not the back, okay? Basically, it's a straight line. So that's what I'm going to do. Now I'm going to pull this apart, and when you do that, you can actually still see some shiny plastic. It means that part's a little snug. So what you do is just use the hand file and just file that shiny part off, because that's what's rubbing against the casing. And make sure the edges has a bevel in it, right, like that. I am done. Now when I got close to the, I guess 3/8 of an inch close to the top, I used hand file, and I just made sure I got to the close to the top as possible. And now I'm going to try to fit them in, and it goes in quite smoothly and snugly like that. Okay, it doesn't interfere with the mag catch area. And then this is the front, this is the bottom, so it's flush with the bottom. So now I can actually test to see if the follower slides smoothly. Okay, this is the follower. I'll put it in, and it should, yes, it's slid down very nicely, and it came out very easily. This is the way it should be. Now I did another one, and it didn't slide very easily. Okay, it's just, it did the same way, except this did not, at the time, did not slide. It slides well now. See, it goes all the way down, but it didn't. By the way, if your follower do not fall smoothly all the way down, then there obviously you have some issues. Okay, and this mag doesn't. And see, you can get hung up over here, you can feel it. So if that's the case, there's a couple of ways you can resolve that. First, it could be that this part, the upper part, which is pretty thin, you can easily squeeze it, and it probably means that when you insert it into the casing, that it's getting pinched. Okay, so what you could do is don't file here, but file this one and file back here. You can basically don't touch about 1 1/4 inch from the bottom and about 1 inch and 1 1/4 inch from the top, but pretty well anywhere between in the bottom and these two you can file, and hopefully you would have solved the pinching problem. Now if that doesn't work, there's another way you could do this is by unscrewing the 2 screws on the top. Okay, and you need a Torx screwdriver, and just remove the 2 screws, and the 2 halves will come apart. Okay. And by the way, before you assemble and grease the follower and insert it for the final time, you should take this apart and clean the inside, because there was a lot of shavings inside, and you couldn't just do it from the outside. You can see even with pushing a cloth right through, there's still a lot of shavings inside. Okay, now once you got these 2 halves separated, you can, if there's some high spots, you can use a fine 400 grit paper and sand it down a bit, so you have a more smoother, the follower could just drop right through. Okay, to show you how to reassemble, you slide this in all the way to the top, and you can see the bottom is close to the end of the casing. Now slide the follower in, followed by the magazine spring, and there should be no resistance pushing it in. Okay, and there isn't any. So at this time, what I should do before I actually put it in there permanently, I should spray some white lithium grease, okay, like that. Now put the magazine spring in, like that. Now take the original base plate. There is 2 prong on the inside. Put it in the magazine spring like this, and then push it all the way down. Hold it tight. Grab the 2 screws and screw it in. Now where is my screwdriver? Here's the screwdriver. There. This is what it looks like. Looks pretty good. And that's the follower. You can see the lithium grease sticking out. Now I'm going to put that into the GSG-16. There. It clicks. Doesn't come out. Just release it, pushing the magazine. Catch, it comes out. I'll put it in again. And there it is. Looks pretty good. So that's it. That's how you enclose the GSG-16 magazine with the Airsoft MP5 casing. Thank you very much for joining me. Please hit the like and subscribe button.